Deuces Wild with Hunter Pence. And Will the Thrill, not with us today, Hunter. But as we should do each and every single day, he's here or not here, we want to properly salute him. Yes, 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 yes.
Let's go, man. That's so much juice, dude. It gets me fired up. I'm sweating.
Bro, you know what, man? I'm going to salute you because every morning when I start the Daily Hustle like that, Miguelito Sandiaguito was my bench coach in Savannah. He used to host the Daily Hustle with me, or at least a lot of them. And then Will the Thrill. I like to throw them a little shout out. But this right here, like these fingers, man, like once again, like you created this.
Ish. I mean, it was Daniel Bryan who created it. I just happened to bring it to baseball through watching the football, and it was I told you the story the last time, man. Yeah. So it is crazy that it's still there. I love the yes fingers. It's a powerful movement, right? It's a powerful motion to get, just like, yes, it's just like gets you going, man. It gets you going.
So you and I, we both just got back from the ABCA. It's the coaches conference, 10,000 coaches. They're absolute, complete, and total fucking shit show in a beautiful way. You were there with Perfect Game. I know you were doing shows. Explain to me, because we met in passing, and I want to let you know, by the way, because when we were hanging out for the short period of time out in front of the hotel and by the bar, me and your boy who run the academy, we went to get you a drink. We got you a beer. And then, I got myself a double tequila. But then we walked back over and we couldn't find you. And I guess you were outside. So I gave your boy the drink. And
My bad, dude. I got it. My bad. I couldn't move 3 steps without running into someone that I'd played with. And it was actually a guy who... this particular time, I feel bad, dude, because I was looking for you. But literally, when someone starts talking to me, I can't just, and then it's also like every one of them are cool stories. But this guy was in the AA championship against me on the opposing team, which had Billy Butler, Zach Greinke, Alex Gordon. So that was who was on his team. He's like, dude, y'all beat us in AA. We couldn't believe it, and it was. So he was bringing up those old stories, and we were just talking about that AA championship and reminiscing. But the ABCA was crazy. I ran into so many people from my past that I played with and against. Man, what an amazing event.
Side question here. Give me the most talented player that you played with or against that never made it to the big leagues.
Man, it's hard to choose just one. And you know this, Burnsy. It's like sometimes you're just absolutely shocked, right? Like when someone gets released and you have no idea why, because they're leaders in the clubhouse. They're great players. They're the homies, and I was fortunate. The little Astros team that I came up with, on my initial team, and we went in the minor leagues, we were either in the championship or won the championship. We either lost it every way, all the way up. Well, then they started trading them away. Ben Zobrist was with me, right? So it was me, Ben Zobrist. There was a couple other big leaguers. One, Juan Gutierrez, who was 98 from the right side, that was on my 2014 World Series team. But we were just this group that came up and they would put us, in the first half you make the playoffs, the second half you make the playoffs. They're different. They're separated. We would make the playoffs in the first half for one org and then go up and make the playoffs in the second half for the other org, that group. So if I right off the top of my head, as a young second baseman who played in the College World Series for Stanford, hit a huge home run, maybe a walk-off home run that he said he dreamed of. I don't know if you ever heard of Johnny Ash.
No.
Okay. So Johnny Ash was
I follow Stanford baseball.
Yeah, he hit a walk-off against the closer that was in the big leagues for forever, Correa with the Nationals. I think that's his name. It's a lot of people over the years, but this guy had a long big league career, and he was insane in the college. And then Johnny Ash was the guy who hit that home run and was a part of our little group. But apparently he got a knee injury after we got separated. I would say Johnny Ash was one of those dudes that just he would hit a laser up the middle. He would clutch up, dude. He was he was just a ball player grinder, and never got the shot.
It just happens, though. Do you look back upon it? What round did you get drafted in?
I was second.
So you had a paved path, but you weren't on the super highway, right? You're not you got to be a top 5 pick to get on that express train to the show. You're a second rounder. You're kind of like everybody else, man. Like, it doesn't matter. I think as soon as you get into the system, they don't really give a fuck unless it's, multiples and multiples of millions of dollars that they want to try to get their investment out of.
Yeah, it was, and I like this about the Astros at that time, and whoever was running that minor league system, man, they were awesome. But their whole thing, there was no sugarcoating, there was no babying. They honestly didn't do much coaching, in a good way, where they were like, we're going to let you fail before we start tinkering. We want to let your natural ability. They were just like, I thought they were really ahead of their time, and because I was wanting at the time, there was no, honestly, I don't think there was MLB Network. There was no information, no Instagram. This dates us, obviously, Burnsy. I know there was none of that when you were started that. So I wanted all this info. I was like, oh, there's all the secrets are there, and then they're like, we're saying nothing. And so anyway, just the program was amazing. The coaching was amazing. I actually forgot what we were even talking about, but it was just a special organization, and coming up through the Astros was pretty awesome. I think I did want to bring up one other player, though, because I lost my train of thought there. I apologize. What was the initial question?
The initial question was the best player that you played with or against that never played in the big leagues.
Yeah. So obviously I said Johnny Ash, but here's another one. This kid hit 16 homers in a short season A-ball. And Mario Garza, and they were standing curtain calls. He was our dude, and just gets lost in the sauce. The next year's not even starting. And you're like, what? This dude was a dude. But he was a bit older for the league and whatever. But it was about not being silver spoon. Yeah, the Astros just they taught us to win. And a lot of the minor league systems now is we just want to develop. We want them to only have a certain amount of innings. We want them to, work on a pitch, only throw changeup. The Astros in the minors at that point was winners in the minors win in the big leagues. Find a way to win. And they had all these competitive things that we would do where you had to really think on your feet and be dynamic and be fluid. And we loved it. We would be competing for who served each other lunch. And that meant something to us. It was fun.
I mean, as it should, dude. I think the competition within the minor leagues it's pretty brutal, but I also believe, and this is why winning is so important at that level, it's because it's so individualistic and everybody's so focused on their own numbers and advancing themselves that the team element often gets lost. I don't think ironic at all that when I came up through the A's system, we basically were winning championships every fucking year, and then we were going to the playoffs every year in the big leagues. And then all of those guys just came up. I mean, whether it was Ben Grieve to Chavi and even, Tejada before that, it was just one guy after another that kept filling. Giambi was kind of the first of the new wave of those guys that came in and set the tone for the entire organization.
Yeah, and the A's, kind of had to do that because they weren't big spending in free agency, and they brought up these dudes that got after it, and that was kind of the MO, and it played out. And our team, it was super cool because, like you said, there's a lot of people oh, it's my career and I'm trying to make this business, but we came up with it. We were really close, the little group that I came up with, and it's super cool. We were look, we're gonna beat the hell out of whoever we play, and we're gonna get traded. And we're gonna find they'll make room for winners in the big leagues. The people that you are beating are the ones that are gonna get sent home. And so it was a cool little buy-in of team play, and that's why that group I think had a Ben Zobrist who won 2 World Series MVPs. We had several guys who had big league careers, not for long term, but a lot of us made it, and it was really cool.
Real quick, Hunter, to make sure Will gets his paycheck. The only people that don't get time off this time of year are pro athletes and us at Bet Online. With NFL bowl season and NBA in full swing over the holidays. Bet Online isn't taking a second off. They want to make sure we have all the up-to-date second odds, news, and info. Bet Online has the sports wagering info available you need with both desktop, mobile access. Head there today to get into the action. Remember to use the promo code BLEAV, capital BLEAV, to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet Online, where the degenerates go to spend their money. That wasn't in the script, but the other one was. All the other shit, yeah, it was there.
Hey, it's a good time. People make a living doing that.
Hey, let's go back to the ABCA, because I saw you out there, and I saw you and Darren Sutton up on stage one day. I got to be honest, dude. I just fucking was. There's so much going on that I kind of looked up there and I wanted to wave. I love Sutton. I haven't seen him in a long time, and I wanted to stick around and listen, let you guys regale me about life. But I just kept walking because I was hungry and needed a Starbucks. So
it's fair. It's fair. There's a lot going on.
I didn't stick around, but tell me the premise of what you guys talked about and what your role was out there.
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing a college radio show every week on PGTV. And so basically they came and we gathered a lot of really great college coaches. We had, Schlossnagel of A&M, who's the head of the ABCA. We had, John Savage at UCLA talking pitching, just talking to one of the craziest ones was Fitzgerald, who, by the way, has one of my teammates' kids on his team out in Florida, Brett Myers. His son, Colt Myers, is really nice. They've won 3 straight state championships. And so getting to talk to him was it gave me chills, actually. And I learned so much. Like, there's a lot of like Savage talking pitching is insane. He was mentioning how Bannister, who was with the Giants, who I think is a pitching genius. Like, I know this. It's some of the coolest pitching.
Brian Bannister?
Yeah, Bannister's now with the White Sox. I'm pissed about that because he's my guy. Loved him. I can't believe we lost him. But anyway, Savage is one of the great. He had some of the greatest pitchers coming through UCLA. This guy, he's really, really cerebral about it. It's really fun to talk pitching with him. So we're just interviewing great minds of baseball, trying to learn, trying to grow, trying to have a good time. But Fitzgerald over in Florida, man, there's a reason he's won 3 straight state championships. And also, like, their school, he said his whole world got shifted. His kids on the team, but they got, they had a gun attack, at their school. And he said it like completely changed my life. Like, every kid comes and shakes my hand and we say, how was your day? We talk to each other before every single practice. He makes them go through every single drill of defense. It's the same every single day. We talked about consistency. Like, they do cutoffs and relays, first and third, situational, but they do it every single day, hour and a half, just straight defensive, put it in the books. Like, we know what's coming. But anyway, long story short, go check that out if you get a chance. It gave me chills how it changed his perspective, how, the connection, the personal connection is so much more to him in baseball, the life skills, and he's doing great things.
So you're talking about Fitzgerald at Florida.
Yeah, correct. Not like, it's a high school. I don't remember the name of the high school exactly.
And then Brett Myers, his kid, who also played for Team USA, is playing there.
Is on that team. Yeah, they've won 3
prospect, right?
Yeah, he's going to be a senior this year. He's a huge prospect. He's already committed to Florida, who's like, I think, ranked number 4 from. I'm not, you saw what Florida did last year. So it's an incredible college program they got there. So he's committed to Florida if he doesn't go to the draft, which he probably will. We'll see.
Did you ask John Savage about the relationship between Garrett Cole and Trevor Bauer?
I don't try to bring up all of that, but I'm pretty sure they didn't get along too well. They're both really great pitchers, but different personalities, to say the least.
If you're a big league team, Hunter, you're a special advisor, right, for the Giants. Would the Giants consider signing Trevor Bauer? And why wouldn't they, right? Like, I mean, basically he's been exonerated from just about everything.
Yeah, I mean, there's just a lot. Like, I don't know. I'm a big fan of forgiveness, but this is a I need more info. I don't have enough info to make that decision. Off the top of my head, I'm probably gonna stay away just in PR standpoint, but I don't have enough info, and I do think he is exonerated. I'm a fan of forgiveness. We'll see what happens, but I don't know. Like there's just a lot there to unpack.
There is, and it was tough because as this whole thing was going down, man, we were actually talking with Trevor about joining No Filter, and he was going to potentially come on and do his post-game interviews, or I don't even call it an interview, whatever you want, but let fans ask questions and, as we are live and interactive. So by the way, if you're listening on Apple or Spotify, thank you for joining us. If you feel like hitting the 5-star review, we are very grateful for that. Leave any sort of comments. If there's something you'd like to see different in the show, we are here for you. As far as the chat is concerned, it's firing. You got Gene, you got Linda. I mean, I love the female representation coming out today. You got Pete. This is one of the things that you and I talked about, bro, before we came on here, is the diversity in the game of baseball, right? There's, when it comes to even, I don't know, whether it's in the media world, it's just the game in general. It's been proven that there's not nearly as many black players playing today as there was way back when, especially when we're talking about the 80s. Is not, it's a lot of people are going to argue and say baseball is a dying sport. And it's definitely a sport that seems some regression. I think it was a 30% decline over the past few years. How do we get this thing back, man?
I mean, I don't know all the stats, but I do not think that it is dying. Like if you looked at like even the ABCA, and they're making moves, they're doing a lot. Do I have the answer for the diversity factor or why that's happening? I think that's very deep, but I do know that we're making strides. But I think the popularity is actually going up, and I think the new rule changes, which we were all like skeptical of, I think it was actually pretty massive. I think the WBC was one of the coolest things we've ever seen. We just saw a $700 million contract go to Shohei Ohtani. Man, I'm not buying that baseball is dying at all. And I watched the youth. It is like, I feel like it's thriving and growing, and I think that they're making good moves. And there's still a long way to go and a lot of work to do, especially the diversity aspect. But I think they're aware, and I think they're moving in a direction that hopefully brings balance. It's tough to find balance in general in life anywhere, but we have to make steps to make it happen.
Are we too close to it? Because I feel the same way. It's like they're dropping these numbers on me at the ABCA, and they're talking about growing essentially the youth program, right? And that's where a lot of the numbers are coming from, the youth participation in the sport of baseball. And you got to get the youth. I mean, the youth is setting up the next generation. We need to keep them interested. So they have a lot of different ideas. And one of them was, I had a guy on who was actually from my hometown, Portola Valley, Menlo Park, Palo Alto area. And he created this thing called Speedball, where instead of having 2 teams, you have 3 teams of 4. And you go out there, so you have 8 guys on the field, you have 4 hitting. And then the way they do it with the younger kids is you have a coach pitch, and they're playing for runs. And it's just, the exact same way you would, right? You got 4 guys. Everyone could always either be on base or up to bat. And he was saying that they're getting, instead of getting, the averages, they said 2 at bats a game, like 2.3 at bats a game for the average little leaguer. But they're saying that you're averaging like 9 at bats a game in this speedball game. And so my question to you is, at what point do you think we'll see these different styles? Because obviously the Bananas, and you experienced it firsthand, and I'm glad you did, they are changing the game a bit. But how much will that penetrate or infiltrate Major League Baseball? Because like you said, they're not handing out fucking $700 million deals because they're not successful right now.
Well, I don't know. The Bananas are going to be, I think that's going to be a whole new league. And I think it's a different league that we don't know where the contracts are going to go, but I think it's on a really good path. It's also going to be good for our sport. I love speed baseball. We're going to need to get a lot of arms, a lot of pitchers, but let's jump back to Savannah Bananas. Like, they're adding a third team. There's now the Firemen. They're going to be performing at Minute Maid Park for their opening day. They're in big league stadiums. These tickets are sold out, and it's a little bit of a different fan and a different athlete, because you can't just be a baseball player. You gotta have, there's some like gymnastics, some Broadway show, dancing. It's like to me, Savannah Bananas is like if Broadway met baseball, because it is a show, and people love watching. It's a fun place to bring your kids. You're gonna have a good time. They're gonna entertain you. You are a part of the act as well. And man, I think if they do grow and expand to more teams and get into if they're selling tickets and there's a show and you find more people, so then the kid that's not just the best player and competitor, there's a different world for you in baseball. I think more jobs in baseball is great.
They sold out Minute Maid Park in 4 minutes.
That tells me that we don't know how far the players in banana ball can go. 4 minutes.
Be a league. It's a league. I'm close to it. I managed the whole first World Tour team. It's the next step is more teams, which they're doing with the firefighters, but a competitive league. They have some things they're going to need to figure out. One of those being that when a dude does a trick play, it needs to be incentivized. So whether that counts as 2 outs or whatever it is, but if you're the center fielder, you got a fly ball right to you. What's the incentive of pulling off the backy and, landing it?
You think it needs to add to the competition of the game?
It's got to. But we all love competition, and we all love winners and losers. That's why Major League Baseball is so successful. It's why I love pickleball. And even as you get older and you think you're probably getting a little less competitive, I'm downstairs going at it every single night with Biscuit on the ping pong table, like sweating it out. Like it's fun.
Exactly.
Right?
I mean, if I'm playing a board game, I'm playing to win. Like sometimes my wife, she's like, I'm not playing with you anymore. So I got to work on being a better sport. We try to find co-op games, but no, I get it. Even the banana ball players are being competitive. People are like, oh, it's the Harlem Globetrotters, but it's not. Because it is a real competition, and these players do care about winning and losing. They get mad if they lose. Like, they're actually competing, and they keep track of the records, What
was the number one thing that you learned? Maybe something that you didn't expect when you went and spent that time with the Bananas?
That was one of them, was how much they cared about winning and losing while also caring about being entertaining. You felt like a similar pressure to like minor league baseball amongst the players. I think also just how much energy they pour into the fans. Like the lights went out when I was there, Burnsy, and these guys danced for 2 hours to entertain the crowd. There's no way you can go home and be like, obviously the game didn't go on. They didn't finish it, but you got even more out of them, and they put heart and soul into that, man. It was incredible. I think it was the players, the people, and the connection to the fans.
All right. So
what about you, Burnsy? What has like shocked you the most about it or impressed you the most?
You know what, dude? At this point, first of all, like I think, okay, you want to get fucking real? You want to know what absolutely shocks me the most?
Yeah.
Is how discombobulated and how much of an absolute shit show that the whole thing is. And yet it still works. And that's where I think I would walk away after each game thinking to myself, wow, this is something special. And it works because it's still baseball. It's the sideshow here and the sideshow here and the sideshow here. And whether it's Stilts pitching or you got, DR Meadows, doing his thing, doing the flips in the outfield, or the guy coming up and on the pogo stick or the trampoline. Just, you have all these wacky and crazy sort of things. But at the end of the day, it's actually still baseball. And they had it drilled with the 2-hour time limit and the running clock and the fast pace. The one thing, and I don't know if you noticed this, but they just nail better than just about anywhere I've ever been or any show that I've ever seen is the DJ. It just the music from start to finish doesn't stop. There's no dead air, bro. It's like
it is like full adrenaline. Like my adrenal glands after that game were shot because it is full on, dude. You and like the discombobulated makes a little sense because when you're going through rehearsal and you thinking all this is organized because they do a good job of like presenting it, at the game but like that's the beauty of spontaneity. That's if something is always scripted, it's not that cool, to be honest with you. And it's definitely not scripted because it's baseball, like you said. But even like a lot of the dances and things, you're trying to figure it out on the fly, and that is pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's really awesome. Okay, from a San Francisco Giants perspective, this past week, the Giants acquired former Cy Young Award winner Robbie Ray for Mitch Haniger, who they just got from the Mariners. They send Haniger and DeSclafani to Seattle. They get Ray from the M's. What's your take on the deal?
I like it. Obviously, with regards to every trade, you get something. To get something good, you got to give something good. And I don't think we saw the best Mitch Haniger.
No.
When you deal with an oblique right out of the gates in spring, it's a big uphill battle because you got to do nothing. And then you got to jump back into the season and like you do all this prep work to get ready to get your body to be an absolute machine. And I think Mitch Haniger is a special player. I think he's a great leader. I think he made some crazy defensive plays when he was healthy and out there. We didn't get his bat going, what he's capable of. And I think that's why the Mariners wanted him back. But Robbie Ray, the reason I like this deal for us is this is a Cy Young caliber. This is a gladiator that when he stands on the mound, dude, when you face Robbie Ray, I faced him a lot. This dude is screaming every pitch, dude. And you can just tell, like, he is full gladiator, just muscle screaming, coming at you. And I love facing him. And he's like lefty. I'm a righty. Like, I love facing a lefty. And he's not afraid to just chuck a fastball at you as hard as he can down the middle. But he's also not afraid to walk you with the slider in the dirt that you think is that fastball. So, he has that slider. He has Cy Young caliber stuff. I think one of the things that I believe is you never want to just be middle of the pack. Like, playing it safe keeps you in the middle of the pack. And going for talents like, I think of like Matt Kemp. Matt Kemp was either MVP or like, what happened to him? But like when you get that MVP, and I'm not saying Robbie Ray is that, but like I want someone with that ceiling because it takes big risks to do something great. And we will never forget when the Giants do great things. And it takes risk-taking, it takes guts, and you feel that from Robbie Ray. So I am going to miss Mitch Haniger. I do think DeSclafani, he had a tough time last year. But I like him as a person. I thought he was, very talented. But like Robbie Ray's got that ceiling that's very, very high. And that, to me, and you feel his presence, like you feel the gladiator from him. I think we're going to, I don't know the terms of his deal and his contract, but add him to Cobb and Webb, and we did get us one more. There's a couple out there at the starting rotation, and now that massive, amazing bullpen we have, we get to start piecing it together. Come and see us.
So one of the guys still out there is another Cy Young Award winner, Blake Snell. The Giants obviously tried to sign Yamamoto. They tried to sign Ohtani. Strike one, strike two. I gotta figure they're knee deep in on the Snell conversation.
Yeah, who knows, like, all the stuff that you're reading. And like, who else is all out there? There's Sonny Gray. I'm hearing a lot about, is there another Japanese pitcher, a lefty, or?
He just signed with the Cubs today, I believe.
Okay. You got to think, it's kind of interesting that the Cubs haven't done that much with them getting counsel as well. And I mean, for me, obviously,
Cubs haven't done shit. You're right. They haven't. It was getting counsel. And, this is a team that they were on the cusp. They were right there, and they're playing in a shitty division too. I mean, I'd be more apt to go all in if I were the Cubs than if I were the Giants.
I mean, the Giants. It's time. Like the Giants look at themselves as like the class of the league, right? Like, and getting outshined by the Dodgers. The Dodgers just spent $1 billion. Like, I am very hurt by this one, Burnsy. I mean, I know they got the pitchers, they got these dudes, and they paid the money, but Teoscar Hernandez, this is one of my favorite teammates I've ever played with. I don't think he is quiet and deadly. And I mean, I played with him in winter ball before he blew up, and he was doing really good. I think he had 30 homers and came out to winter ball. And this was like a quiet 30 homers before he made all-star teams. This dude works his absolute ass off. I'm like in the cage. Like when he shows up, the respect he gets in the Dominican, like it's like the breath is taken. And like he's not he's big, but he carries himself with his stature. You don't see like, you know, and I'm all for let the kids play and what, but like you see a dude that clocks in, comes to win the game, plays with heart, and I mean he's just got that it, man. And it's sneaky. It's a lot like Tyro Estrada, actually. Dude's like playing at an all-star caliber and just like low key keeps it, gets to work.
Okay, dude, but I mean, how do you stop this?
I like this.
How do we stop this? Like this is the Dodgers. I hate to say it. They're fucking doing it better than everybody else. And they have momentum on their side, but they leave no stone unturned. They figure out who the dogs are, and they know who's taking extra BP in the Dominican. That's what's great about them.
Yeah, that Teoscar Hernandez, I'm actually mad at myself for not. I thought about, at least texting Farhan, because then I could be a little bit more upset. But I didn't even text him. I thought about it. I was like, man, I really want Teoscar. No one's talking about him. But, okay, it's guts, it's heart. Like, Bob Melvin knows these guys. He had Sonny Gray, right? Sonny Gray's available, right? I like Sonny Gray a lot. He pitched he pitched insane this year. I like Blake Snell a lot, too, because for me, this is where I like, because I told last year I was big on Bellinger. And the reason being is with the Dodgers, this dude puts in the ground too much, man. In the big moments, he could be hitting $195 or 200, and he'd hit a bunch of homers. But, like, he could be lost, and you could tell he was, like, when the game mattered. Do you remember Game 5 when we lost to the Giants, or when we lost to the Dodgers? I don't ever want to remember this because this one hurt me bad. Bellinger with the ribby.
Yeah. This
dude just finds a way to win. He makes the catches in the outfield. I mean, like, nasty defense. So, like, Snell, dude, when he was pitching against the Dodgers for the Rays, when they took him out is when they lost. This dude stepped up, carried the team in a big moment, and people are saying, oh, he's afraid of the big stage. Dude, this dude is a psycho competitor. Like, you see it. Like, I know he hasn't gone deep into games yet, but I don't care. Like, our Giants bullpen is not, it's not like they're dying to send people for, to the ninth inning these days, but I think he'll get there. And he has the changeup, he has the off speed, he has the fastball. It's tough for me, but like, what's your thoughts on that? Them saying that like the Yankees and the Mets are backing down from Snell because they're afraid he can't handle the big stage. This dude's pitched in the World Series. He pitched in San Diego, and even when he didn't have a good year in the playoffs, you didn't want to see Snell.
On top of that, San Diego's selling out every fucking game. They're getting more fans than the Yankees or the Mets. I don't have those stats in front of me, but San Diego's been doing a terrific job. Snell is not scared of the big stage.
No, dude, this dude is here to win, man.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. I think New York's got their feelings hurt right now because they're realizing that it's not the end-all, be-all places to play. I love this city. Look, New York, and I grew up in San Francisco. New York's the greatest city in the world. It really is. Between just everything about it, and it could be the beauty of, the skyline and the Hudson, and just everything about the history of that city. I fucking love it. I mean, I'm a Hamilton aficionado. I went 8 times.
Did not know that about you.
7 of those 8 were by myself, bro.
You like it that much? I've never been. It's good. I mean, obviously, it's won so many awards. What a question.
I was a history buff, and I was a history major too. But it was more about, I don't give a shit about school or whatever else. It was just the books and everything. And I, I delved into Hamilton and I knew his story and just the way it was portrayed. It tugged at my heart, and it took me to a place emotionally that I just don't think, there's much in life that has ever done that to me. And so I wanted more of it. And every time I went back, it was a little different, and I would capture something different within it. And so it's kind of like reading the same book 7-8 times, which I have. I've done that a lot. I have As a Man Thinketh right here, if you haven't read this, but
oh yes,
I probably read this book from James.
Who wrote that book? I do think I've read that one. That one's great.
James Allen, 1901, As a Man Thinketh.
Yes, I'm big on that.
It's so good, dude. So look, New York is New York. I lived in New York for 10 years. I owned a place in New York, right? I paid New York tax. Like, I was all in on the city, and I'm still all in on the city. I would have loved to play for the Yankees or the Mets. I actually, check this out. This is really cool. This was my crib in New York.
Oh my God. Okay. That is cool, man.
Yeah. So the room was up here. This is just like literally 20-foot ceilings, 2-story loft.
So
some of the cooler years of my life were spent in that city, but not everybody loves it. They just don't.
Yeah. But do you think that Snell's decision comes down to the city, or is it coming down to the contract? And like Bellinger, Snell, Kershaw's still out there.
Yeah, I think Kershaw, if I were him, you just kind of sit and wait. Yeah, you see, and you get yourself 1,000% healthy and make sure you got to imagine you're Kershaw. There's 2 places for Kershaw to go. It's simple. It's the Dodgers. It's the fucking Rangers.
Yeah.
Am I right?
I mean, you never know. You never know. But yeah, I mean, I would love, it would be fun to sneak him out from under the rug, though. But listen, for me, I think Logan Webb and Alex Cobb already, we got 1-2 that can go with anybody. We got to add another huge arm. And I mean, I think, Wilmer Flores, Tyro Estrada, I think we got some grinders. Bob Melvin at the helm is going to be exciting to see what goes on there. I love having Pat Burrell there. This dude is electric. But Bob Melvin, this is my thoughts to you. I want to ask you, because I don't know him that well. I've had 2 interviews with him. And it's been super low key. You played for him. He's had Chapman as well. What do you think of Matt Chapman? Everywhere Matt Chapman's gone has been going to the playoffs.
All right, so Matt Chapman is a real interesting dude because he's right up there. Now, they're all 4 Scott Boras clients too. So you have Blake Snell, you have Cody Bellinger, you have Matt Chapman, and then you have Jordan Montgomery. They're considered the top 4 free agents left. And obviously, Boras is going to be looking to get them all crazy deals. Chapman is one that if I'm the Texas Rangers, that's a guy that I'm looking into. And the reason being is that lineup fucking bangs. I don't have to worry about Matt Chapman being a middle of the order force. He could hit 7, he can hit 8, he can clock in a 750 OPS from there, and we're going to be stoked. And he obviously plays a platinum, not gold, platinum glove third base. The best third baseman, arguably, in the game of baseball. One of the best we've ever seen. Chapman on the Giants, though, Hunter. I think we need more firepower, bro. Right?
I mean, hold up. The Rangers have Jung, dude. This is a rookie stud first rounder, rookie of the year candidate. We have JD Davis, and he's definitely serviceable, and JD can also play first. But Chapman, like you said, adding a platinum glove, I think he's a gritty grinder. He's a leader. Maybe it is Bellinger's as the other one you want, but I think Chapman fits more with us than he would with the Rangers, particularly.
Yeah, well, okay. I just say that in the sense, and again, I'm using the analogy because of the lineup, right? Because You have one lineup that bangs. You have another that's relatively offensively challenged. But the other thing about the Giants last year, as you remember, they were dog shit defensively.
Yes, that's why Chapman makes more sense.
And now I'm going to sway back towards what you're saying. And look, I don't have a fucking big enough ego in this to sit here and argue something when.
Oh, I'm not trying to argue. I hope this is just, I love the discussion.
No. I'm 1,000% with you. And I had this conversation, whoever I had, it was when we were at the convention. I was having this conversation with somebody about the Giants, and that was it, because I was going over the four remaining free agents, and I had to rank them for the Giants. And I actually think we ended up.
I saw your ranking already.
Yeah, and I went Jordan Montgomery 4. I went Chapman 3. I went Bellinger 2, and then I went Snell 1 because he's an ace. All right, so let's play this game. It's kind of fun. Maybe we could split screen them. Give me, of those 4, your ranking. 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh man, it's impossible. You know what though? Like, I like all of them. But like, I think I'm gonna start at 1 actually for you, because okay. I think 1 has to be Snell. I mean, yeah, that's a no-brainer. I think Montgomery is 2.
Oh, really?
Bro, he just showed up to the playoffs and just said, forget about the Orioles, who were supposed to just run through the American League. Like who Astros, dude, beating the Astros in this era is real. They are good. They are elite. They are smart. Yordan Alvarez, he comes to clip you out of the stadium, bro. These guys, Altuve, this dude has hit more home runs than anyone in the postseason. Like, they are smart. They are weathered. Montgomery has shown me something. And also, I love that he was told by the Yankees, listen, you're not going to make pitching in the playoffs for us. Do you know what that does to a competitor? Oh, Yankees, I'm not going to come and pitch in the playoffs for you? And then you saw the demon within from that comment. It gets you. So give me that. Give me that dude that wants the big, because there's a difference, and people will say it's the same game. There's a difference to the emotion, to the level, to the competition, to the mental, to the pressure. The emotion changes everything. This is the best in the world playing for it all. And this dude showed me he's got it. Snell showed me he's got it. I mean, Bellinger has showed us he's got it. So Belly's number 3. And I think it's sad to say, because Matt Chapman is a dude that plays freaking platinum glove defense at third base that becomes a leader. These are all 4 going to make $100 million plus. So it's like we're ranking the fucking dudes.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I like it. And you really, really value pitching. I mean, this Snell's a no-brainer. But if you're going to put Montgomery up there, do you have recency bias, though, like I did with Michael Penix Jr., the University of Washington quarterback, who I thought, after the performance that I watched against Texas, I'm like, this dude needs to be the number 1 pick overall. And then you watched him last night, and you're like, I wonder if he's going to get drafted. Right? You know what I'm saying? Like, is it recency
I could definitely
bias? We get too caught up in this shit.
It has been, I've been wrong a lot. So it's definitely possible that I am wrong, and I am happy to be wrong, and I like I said, I like all 4 of them. I want to also Sonny Gray, man.
Sonny Gray, the only knock on him. Oh shit, almost knocked out my daily hustle bug. Send me your Addy, by the way. I'll get you one of these.
All right. Appreciate that. Don't knock over the mug.
Are you a firm mug guy? Like, do you like a big mug, or do you
I don't want too big because I don't want to mess with the temperature. I need kind of smaller.
I got you. I have a smaller version that actually is a better design. I go big and I reheat all the time, man.
Okay.
So I go coffee, butter, heavy whipping cream, and then I'm constantly reheating this through the course of the morning. Then when I go to my workout, I put it in here.
The Yeti.
So yeah, so it keeps it hot.
Stay caffeinated.
Yeah, where were we? My ADD kicked in.
Sonny Gray, the knock on Sonny Gray.
So here we go. This is a fun one. MLB.com came out, and we'll finish with this. I don't want to take too much of your time here. 6 free agents who are better than you think. I really enjoyed this article, and it ranked some guys and talked about some dudes that could really, really help. And here they are. I'm going to give you the names, talk about one or two, and let's just start right here. This guy, it's always just like a slow reveal. Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Bo Bichette, Matt Chapman, George Springer, Alejandro Kirk. Big names, all-stars, linchpins of a Toronto offense that was constructed to carry the team through the AL East gauntlet for years to come. But in 2023, none of those players had the highest OPS on the Blue Jays because who was it? Hunter Pence.
I have no idea.
Brandon fucking Belt.
Belt. He had the highest OPS. How many games did he play, though? How much was he hurt?
Great.
I was thinking Belt, actually, but I was like, no way.
That's the next thing they talked about. He played, I believe, in 103 games, and he was 45 points higher than the next closest J, who was Bichette. He had an 859 OPS by way of his huge on-base percentage. We know he likes to take a lot of pitches, Hunter.
And Farhan loves that. There's talks of him coming back to the Giants.
I'm wondering what Will the Thrill would think of that. He's always been harsh on Belt, man. I feel like he's too hard about it. I love Belt. I thought Belt's great, man. Like, unbelievable eyes, got that freaking buggy whip swing. I think Belt's good, so long as he stays healthy. If you use him in almost a platoon type role and you match him up in the right guys in the right way, and I mean he has pedigree, he knows the division really well, I'd take him back in a heartbeat. Now, I don't know if Thrill would agree with me though.
I'm going to be interested to see what he doesn't like about Belt, but he's just a different guy. Like he's super funny. He's fun to be around the clubhouse. He's just he's not that dude. Like, he's not that ultimate caffeinated guy. He might be drinking a lot of Red Bulls, but it's kind of like Eeyore. He's kind of just like, he's the captain. He's super sarcastic, but he just has a chill vibe, and he gets it done. The dude can hit any pitcher. He's never overmatched. He's clutched up for us so many times in the big leagues, dude. I love Brandon Belt. I think he's super sneaky. The thing is just like, if he ever stayed healthy for a full year, we're talking like crazy, but he just gets hit in the head because he doesn't move out of the way. It's just a different vibe, and the guy can play though, man. I have 2 rings because of him, so I have nothing but the most love. And I will say this, as high strung as I am and like as high energy as I am, I really enjoyed how chill and calm his vibe was. It helped. It actually helps you a little bit to have. You can't have everyone up here. Yes. And then you have Belt just like trying to wake up. It helps.
Bro, I don't want 25.
Like, you need all of them.
I could tell you that putting together these youth baseball teams, and dude, we've had 22 players play for our Let Them Play team so far, and that's just through the fall season. We only carry 11 per tournament, and it's the beauty of having a national travel team where, depending on where we're going and what tournament we're playing in and whatever else, that's how we put the roster together. Now we have a core of about 8 guys, and then the last 3 spots are pretty rotating. And there's a kid, and I'm going to give you an example. He's from Arizona, and he's got a really chill, I don't want to call it low energy, but takes the ball in big situations, lefty, 70, fluid, left side, smooth, approach at the plate, just very Brandon Beltish, never swings at a ball. He gets a good pitch to hit, he runs into it, and he plays a good first base, and you put him out in the outfield, and he plays a good outfield, but he's not going to wow you. And so we've had conversation after conversation after conversation about this kid, like, hey, what do you think? What do you think? And you know what it went back to? Finally, like the last time, I'm like, look, whatever knocks that would be, and it would be because he's not this gregarious personality or outgoing, whatever else. I'm like, I actually no longer look at it like that. And not even that I did in the first place. I'm like, we need that kid to chill out our other kids, to bring this calming presence. And he apparently, like, he'll talk a little shit too, just kind of the dry humor, witty type stuff. Yeah. You need that. Like, that's how Buster is, isn't he?
Buster has got a lot of fire. I mean, he may outwardly be chill, but this dude is.
I don't mean chill. I just put the wittiness and stuff. And
jokes. Crazy witty, extremely smart, wise. Yeah, definitely a lot of wise cracks. He will bust your balls in a heartbeat. He'll get on you cutthroat. They're different humors. They're dry. Brandon Belt and Brandon Crawford are both ultra sarcastic, ultra dry humors. But what you're also reminding me of is a lot of times less is more. And these people that are that chill, you almost think they're not trying. Like, sometimes people get mad at some of the greatest athletes because, like, a relaxed muscle is actually faster. I used to have this teammate who was like the fastest guy on our team. He played a very small stint in the big leagues, Josh Anderson. And everyone thought he wasn't trying to run hard. Remember Usain Bolt broke the world record, and they were like, he wasn't even trying. But that looseness is actually faster. And so some of them just kind of figure that out and ride that wave where I was like trying to get everything out. I probably got in my way.
So in here in the chat, and it says what Jalen Johnston says, and I love this. I've never seen this before. This might be a daily hustle subject. He says the confidence, CALM, confidence, and that's Jalen, so right.
Jalen is my boy. That's my buddy, dude. He is witty as hell. He was a rock star.
Dude, that's. Wait, hold on a second. Your boy's a rock star.
Yeah, he was. Oh gosh, I should know the name of his band. They had this one huge hit. He toured when he was back in the day. Jalen's a homie though. He's a lead singer of a rock band. Had one massive hit, and he's like the wittiest dude. He's got the confidence, dude. He always comes in with it. Where's the chat at? I can't even see it.
Yeah, I guess hit setting. I don't know if it's on settings or what. I always have this thing fired up, but that's brilliant. Jalen, that's brilliant. The confidence. And it's so true because my kid, I'm real proud of him. Like, we had a little bit of a rough day on the pickleball court. It was a matchup that we could very easily handle. And it was with two very similar players. And then we blew a 10-6 lead. We lost the game. Then we were down in the second one, like, I don't know, call it like 9-2. And then it was 9-3. And then it was 9-4. And they were jabbing and we were jabbing and we're going back and forth. And my kid turns to me and he goes, "Silent assassins." I go, "Yes, sir. Silent assassins." So we put that game face on, man. We took the fucker to like 12-10 and lost it. But it's those who talk all the time, that jibber jabber, like, I can't hear what you're saying. I'm too busy watching what you're doing. Right? Like that's the problem with, the chattering and everything else.
There's a lot of that out there though. And it never stops. You're always going to be dealing with it. You know that. Like, you played in the big leagues. Like,
did you see Jay Lynn? He said the band was called Mad
Gravity. Have you heard of them? What was the name of that? What was your one big hit, Jalen? I know you heard this song. You're gonna have to check it out when you get done. But I game with him. He's one of my gaming homies, and he always comes in with the mic, and it's just it's killer.
I love it. And then Jason and Nicole are on here, Hunter. They're saying you're going to Reno next week.
Yes, I'm gonna be in Reno. Will Clark went through there. I'm not sure when, but they told me he spoke there. So I'll be talking to the college kids again.
Well, those are all my peeps. Yeah, is
that right?
Yeah, dude, Jason. I went to dinner. We had drinks last time with Jason, Nicole, and Battleborn Mike, who long friends of the program. This is the coolest thing about DEUCES WILD. Literally, a relationship was forged between Will and Battleborn Mike from Reno, and they bonded over hunting. And now Battleborn goes out to the Double Deuces Ranch all the time and hunts with Thrill. And then when Thrill comes in town, they end up taking him hunting. And then Will, for a long time, has been doing speaking engagements here in Reno anyway. I actually joined him 1 year, easiest money I ever fucking made. Jeez. I mean, these things are just cha-ching, huh? So anyhow, he then goes and, he's talked to the college and the UNR program, and it's big. It's big, especially these days in college athletics. I'm not sure if you talk to Savage or any of the other college coaches about this, but this NIL money is like, this is real, man. Like UCLA, for example, and just about every other college with the exception of LSU, these guys don't have any fucking money to pay the kids, but these kids are getting paid. So that's why you see LSU dominating the way they did this past year.
I mean, there's like 4 teams that can give them guaranteed money to come in, like, and it's becoming professional. It's like Oregon, A&M, LSU, a lot of the SEC schools. Like, I mean, you've heard of Tommy Tanks, right? He'll be in the draft this year. Wake Forest is doing crazy things, man. I don't know if you've seen the pitching lab that they have, but man, Wake Forest is going to be nuts this year because Byrnes, that pitcher from Tennessee, transferred over. Ooh,
yeah. So is Wake paying too? They got to be paying.
I don't know what their funds are there with the NIL money, but it's got to be good because the collection of talent. But I think the thing with Wake Forest is, like, if you're a pitcher and that the best pitching lab in all of the nation, like big leaguers go there to train. And this guy, they have like this guru that like he unwinds it from the catcher's mitt back, and then like does all this stuff. So like he's going to craft you into the best version of yourself to make, to be that top pick. Like that's what he's doing. We can guarantee you that you are going to get drafted, and they can collect the best talented pitchers that you have. They also have another kid at first base that's gonna be in the top rounds. It's like banging. So they just have the best technology is what Wake Forest has. And if you have a kid, do you want him to go become the best psychotic player he can become?
So fun, quick.
Think about it. Well, answer that.
100%. That's it.
Like, we are going to turn you into the biggest, best that you can make yourself. That's going to happen at Wake Forest, no doubt.
So I played in Cape Cod 3 different years. And so my first year I was with Chatham. And I don't know if you remember this, but there was a movie called Summer Cat.
Yes, I remember that.
So
Jessica Biel,
Freddie Prinze Jr.
Freddie Prinze Jr.
The producer of that movie followed our team around the entire summer. And then 5 years later, boom, out comes Summer Catch. There was a guy that was on our team. His name was Eric Brubaker. He was a pitcher from Pepperdine. And he ended up helping with the whole production and everything else and a lot of the off-camera stories. And that's how they, look, it was still very Hollywood. But there was a character there that was loosely, quote unquote, loosely based after me. And the character was actually Brubaker, who was Matthew Lillard, the psycho killer from Scream. Okay. And he was the guy that hooked up with Dee Dee Mulligan. Like, he was a California kid, the surfer guy that wanted to go home. He was struggling. And so he was in the Jeep with the surfboard going home. And then Freddie Prinze Jr. ended up getting him to stay. Well, Freddie Prinze Jr. was the local kid, and his character was loosely based after this guy by the name of Peter Princey. Local kid, the whole deal, everything else. Well, Princey and I, to this day, are still best of friends. Now, I don't get to see him, obviously, as much as I would like, but he lives out in Boston, but he went to Wake Forest, and he's fucking killing it in the financial world. And so he helped build that whole pitching lab because he was a pitcher at Wake Forest. So
it's the best.
I can't wait to talk to him about it, but I'm sure they're coming up with money for some of these athletes, dude. Wake was really good last year.
Oh, they're going to be even better. They're number 1 right now. So they're going to be even better this year. I just had a thing this morning talking about it.
Okay. Hey, the very, very last thing. Here's the remaining guys off of that list. The first, they had Brandon Belt. They just said this is alphabetical order. if you're the Giants, or if you're a team, like, which guy here of these 6 undercover great free agents would you go with first? You have Brandon Belt, Aroldis Chapman, JD Martinez, Tommy Pham, Jorge Soler, and then let's not forget about Marcus Stroman. Those are big names, all in their mid-30s. I mean, the youngest is Soler at 32. The other guys are basically, they're like Pham's 36, JD Martinez 36, Chapman 36, Belt's 36, and then Stroman's 33 years old. These are all guys coming off good years, dude.
The two that pop out to me off the top of my head is JD Martinez and Stroman. Yeah. Like Stroman can do it, man. He's a grinder. He's got just great movement. I mean, all of them I think can help. Soler's another one. I mean, we're talking a World Series MVP, man. If you've done it on the biggest stage, I believe in you. Like, you've shown me something. And also the Marlins made the playoffs last year. You know, like, I look for players that where they go win. Like, that is something that matters to me. Once again, back to my Tommy Pham. I mean, has he always won? He's been traded around a lot. Tommy Pham is sneaky. He's getting a little bit older. He was nasty in the World Series. That Diamondbacks team took off, but JD Martinez, dude, this guy's a professional hitter, man. I think that he's going to hit till he's 40. Like, this dude can he's pro. And so I like him. I mean, I like pitching. You know that.
33 homers for JD Martinez in 113 games last season. I know this sounds crazy, and it at least it probably does to the outside world or the casual baseball fan, but trust me when I tell you, he is one of the greatest right-handed hitters of our generation.
All time. This dude is a methodical business hitter. And if he stays healthy, which I think it's a fluke that he got hurt. I mean, obviously he's getting older, but dude, his swing and how dialed he is into everything, he doesn't need to be as fast twitch. Like, he's going to be good in his later years. Like, he's going to continue to hit. If he's on the field, he's going to hit.
All right, dude. Ending it up here, I just want to say I love you. I can't thank you enough, bro. Like, these conversations I don't even care that they're on a podcast or on No Filter or anything else. Like, I could sit here and do this all night. I mean, this is
it's great chatting with you as well. Man, awesome seeing you at the ABCA. I just ripped my headphones out, but I appreciate you saying that. Thanks for having me on. I'm glad I was able to make it work, and hopefully I'll catch you up again whenever you need me.
Yeah, we got a little something in the works that we'll go back and forth on, like I mentioned earlier. So hopefully we can make it happen and just continuing to spread the love of this great game.
Yes, indeed. It's a pleasure.
Hunter, one last thing we'd like to do here before we take off. And by the way, don't forget to pick up the new Let Them Play, a parenting and coaching guide to youth sports at ericbyrnes.com, along with your daily hustle coffee mug. This thing's badass. Hunter, any last final words for you? Actually, I want to give you before
man, I think we've kind of wrapped it all up. I guess I just wanted to hear, give me your top 2 you want out of all of them that you think, because you take from those 6 that are, secret, you're not going to pay the big bucks. Who are your top 2 out of all of them for the Giants? You can have,
you know what?
For their price.
Well, check this out, because Jock Peterson's not there. I think the Giants should sign Tommy Pham. You lost Mitch Haniger. This guy has a fuck you chip on his shoulder. I don't see that. I don't know what their clubhouse dynamic is. I think it's going to help bringing in like Pat Burrell and stuff. Like, he's gonna get a little more edge out of these guys. But Tommy Pham's a no nonsense, no bullshit, fuck you guy. And let's not forget, in the World Series, he gave up his at bat, and it was 4 for 4. Gave up a chance to go 5 for 5 in the World Series because he wanted Jace Peterson to get a World Series at bat. I thought that was super cool. So
right.
Tommy Pham, Tommy Pham is one I would target. And then, dude, who doesn't love a flame-throwing lefty with an edge as well? 36 years old. I know he's had some trouble in the past. Aroldis Chapman. You bring in that monster arm. You add that to the bullpen. those are two signs that I'd easily fucking do, right? You're going to give Ohtani 700. You like Snell and these two guys, and you're not even at like a quarter of that. So, overall, I'd say that's probably it, man.
All right,
bro. Yeah, tell Lexi send her our love, and
thanks for having me on the show. Thank you to everyone in the chat. Jalen, my homie, thanks for showing up. And I'm gonna go eat some chili and hang with the wife.
And motherfucker, if you're in Reno next week, hit me up.
I'll be there. You're close by Reno,
bro. It's tough.
I don't know.
You were here.
Man. I'll shoot you a text.
I play pickleball in Reno 5 days a week.
All right, let's do it,
dude. And by the way, have you ever been on a snowboard?
Never.
Oh shit. Dude,
I know.
Yeah. You're a surfer. This is like the way. This is we come board some powder with me. It's like the wave that never ends.
I want to do it. We want to come, so I might hit you up for that. Let me know when we can do it.
All right, dude.
All right, man. Y'all take it easy.
See ya.